Let's see. Hello. I can't see who it is. Is it Danny? It's Danny Dizzle. Hello, Danny. So we're going to go next door and help my neighbor take down his sunroom. That's what we're going to do. Go take down the sunroom. All right. I'll be off camera. I'm going to be over there. There you go. Hello, Carrie. We got to take that sunroom down today. We're going to go take that sunroom down now. You won't be able to hear me, but you can talk. I think Treaton will be in a minute. All right, Danny. What's up, FAFO troublemaker? Well, the sunroom fell down over there because of the rain, so we got to take it down. So we'll take it down now. Yeah, we're going to take that down. There you go. That should be good. All right, good. All right, you won't be able to hear me from over there. I'll be back. Yeah, that piece hanging down? Yeah. Let's see. Let me get it up because it looks like it's creating a little resistance. Let's see. Okay. We're trying to overall check with this. Yeah, overall. Okay, wait. Okay. The ladder. doing? Anybody here? Anybody home? We got 9 people here. Look at that. All right, so we took it down. Darlene W. Dougie Doug, actually nothing. I didn't have anything to put on at work. Hello, Dougie Doug. Dougie Doug's in here. What's going on, Dougie Doug? Danny Dizzle's still here. So we took down that canopy because the rainstorm, the last rainstorm we had a couple of days ago, when I raked up all the leaves, it collapsed the canopy. The ribbing, there was too much weight and the ribbing collapsed. So they took that down. Dougie Doug, what's going on, brother? It must be beautiful down there in Nyack. It's beautiful up here, right up the road. It's beautiful right up the road, kid. And it's mild. I thought I needed a jacket, but I'm fine with a t-shirt. I'm fine with a t-shirt. So that's it. What are the dogs? You want to see the dogs are roaming around? So Lulu over here. Let's see Lulu. Where's Lulu? There's Lulu. He's injured. Lulu's injured. He had a little, like a lump on the back of his neck. They call it a lipoma or a sebaceous cyst. And I don't know if Izzy scratched it open. The leaves didn't help. Right, the leaves didn't help. So I've been taking care of him, keeping that open wound clean. And I don't know, he's out and about today. Yesterday he didn't want to go for a walk. And then we have his brother, Izzy. Look at that. Look at that face. He's up to no good. He's like, I want a lawyer. I want a lawyer. Those are the only things he knows how to say. I want a lawyer. You want a lawyer, Izzy? Izzy's lawyering up. Izzy's lawyering up. And then Lucy's just there with her babies, trying to keep her little babies away from Izzy. And then Izzy goes and gets them. Let's see. There you go. Izzy, Lucy. All right. What are you guys doing? What are you doing? Getting the dog? Getting the wolf? Get the wolf. Get that wolf. Lucy got the rabbit. And the giraffe's over there by the chair. Thank you. They are cute. They are cute. Yeah, so we've been dealing with Lulu's injury and trying to keep the vet out of it, but if we have to go to the vet, eventually we'll go to the vet. Yeah, the Beagle Brigade. That's the Beagle Brigade. So did anybody watch the New York City? Well, I know Ange was on. We were watching Ange. And then at 7, the mayor's debate started with Andrew Cuomo and Zohran Mamdani. You missed it. What happened? And Curtis Lewa. So the 3 of them were debating. Andrew was on the left, Curtis was in the middle, Mamdani was on the right. And Cuomo and Mamdani were giving there were 4 reporters there from NBC. And they were not really cooperating with the reporters when they were telling them their time was up. The only one who was total gentleman was Curtis Lewa. Mamdani and Cuomo were bickering. And every time they asked Mamdani, Mamdani gives me the feeling that he could sell me the Crocs right off my feet, because they ask him a question like they know something about him. Like maybe it's an incriminating question that you could plead the fifth to, and he goes like this. He gets this smile and this grin on his face, like I don't know, like I'm a nice guy. I don't know what you're talking about. I love humanity. And then on the other side, he's saying, you know, things that are not very humanistic. So, bottom line, on Instagram, all the polls were giving it to Sliwa. Like 81% of the people thought Sliwa got it because he was talking about the issues. There's skeletons in Cuomo's closet that came out. There's skeletons in Mamdani's closet that came out. So I don't know. Everybody who lives in New York City and can vote. And then I saw somebody was saying that people could send in absentee ballots if they don't live in the city. So there's all kinds of shenanigans going on to skew the race. I would love to see Curtis get it. Curtis is like a man of the people. He grew up in the city. I mean, the guy, you know, he's been helping the people out of the city just on his own with the Guardian Angels for years. And he's been a radio show commentator on WABC Talk Radio for years. He's very conservative. He's very logical. He has a couple of wives out there that people know them. People love his ex-wives and his current wife. Dougie Doug's glad he doesn't live in the city. Yeah, Dougie Doug, I agree with you. I'm glad I don't live in the city because I don't have a horse in this race. In other words, if Mamdani wins, it's going to be a mess for middle-class people like us. It's going to be, hello, Ronnie C. That's my man. Turtle, Ronnie. Tell Treatin' Turtle. Hello, Ronnie C. So, Turtle means turtle. When we were on the cruise and Ronnie C's a smoker and so's Treatin'. So when they would go to the smoking section of the ship, you can only smoke on the outside deck in a particular section. She had that scooter in rabbit mode. The scooter had turtle mode for slow and rabbit mode for fast. She had it in rabbit mode, and Ronnie C and I couldn't keep up with Treatin'. They'll all move up by me. Dougie Doug, I don't think there's, not that I wouldn't invite or welcome them, I don't think there's any room up here. I don't think there's enough housing up here, Dougie Doug. I mean, Westchester's expensive, Rockland's expensive, I don't know. Well, a lot of people moved up here, Dougie Doug, as you well know, after the events of 9/11, right? We could say that on YouTube, 9/11. It was an event that happened. And Treat 99 and I actually moved up here just like a day or two before 9/11 happened. And that was only because the kids were starting high school. Joey, my oldest son, was starting high school, so we wanted him to start up here instead of down in the city. And that's how we ended up here. So 9/11 created a lot of, which originally, like this area, Dougie Doug and everybody else, was mostly civil servants. You had firemen, like just on my block alone. The neighbor next door was a fireman. The neighbor I just helped with the awning, he was a city cop. I think everybody around here was a civil servant except for the guy that owned my house. He worked for a paper company. He worked for Weyerhaeuser up on Airmont Road. So, down on Airmont Road, actually, from here. So, people will be, and the fact that you have a New York City address and you're paying taxes because you have the city address, and it comes out to quite a bit of money, especially if you have a two-income household. If you're both working, you're married, let's say you're married and you're both working, Yo Ange, yeah, Weyerhaeuser. You ever hear of Weyerhaeuser, Ange? They're a humongous paper company. They've always been a tremendous paper company. You know, they make those, they have those a roll of paper from them is like 5,000 pounds. They go on big machines, they make cardboard, they make cigarette cartons for treating cigarettes. They make all that stuff. So like if you're like Yo Ange and Joe Coffey, and you're both bringing in a paycheck with a pay stub, I don't know. You're paying a lot of money in city tax every 2 weeks if you get paid every 2 weeks. And then it gets to the point where if a Mamdani gets in there, they're going to look to you to finance, like he's saying, free buses. The buses are going to be free. As it is, the buses are subsidized. Yes, yeah, I know you're broke. I know you're broke. Um, except for your nickels that you put in the slot machines, those you collect. I know, and if it gets bad enough that you have to pick up empty soda cans and empty water bottles for your nickels to put in the slot machine, it's time to move out of the city. That's when you know it's time to move out of the city. But that's the thing. I forget how much Treat and I used to. So she worked, I worked, and you look at the city tax. That's like a third of what you would pay towards a mortgage. So you look at that, and then you look at the cost of a mortgage, and you think, wow, it's it's cheaper to have a house. Yo, Ange, it's the same thing here. Jolie. Yeah, everybody's getting squeezed. You know, we know 2020 was the big reset, major reset in 2020. Tremendous transfer of wealth. Only certain companies like Amazon and Walmart and supermarkets were making money. Yo, Ange does not want a mortgage, not again. Listen, Ange, you did it once, home girl. You could do it again. You know you love mowing the lawn, raking the leaves, having the furnace checked, making sure the central AC is working. What else? You love a big kitchen, Ange. Imagine a big kitchen, just to have the big kitchen. Yo, Ange says, never. FAFO, I've been a local 46 years. Ironwork in the city since 19, drove in every day. Oh, so you're an iron worker, Dougie Doug. Yeah, we had a guy who was an iron worker. His name was Al Martin, that was a trooper. He was a trooper, he became a lieutenant, he became a captain. He was an iron worker. And man, I remember when we had on the old Tappan Zee Bridge, Dougie Doug, they were doing rehabilitation work. They were doing the redecking of the bridge. And instead of hiring the local iron workers, they were getting iron workers from like Maine and Rhode Island, non-union guys. I don't want to be cleaning a big kitchen or multiple bathrooms. Don't worry, Ange. Joe Coffey will clean it up. Joe Coffey will be the cleaning woman. You'll get him a little French maid outfit, and that'll be good. And the regular union guys went out there on the bridge one night. They were in a van. They got out of the van, center span. They crawled down the beams. And I didn't ever realize that those beams have like manholes in them so that you could climb inside the beam to paint the beam and to service the beam. So I remember we came in, the sergeant says, get out on the bridge. This protest is on the bridge. So we get on the bridge and they tell us, go underneath the bridge. So we go underneath the bridge and there was this catwalk. There's this tiny little catwalk suspended underneath the Tappan Zee Bridge. So it was just a handful of us. It was just me and 5 other troopers and a sergeant. And we're trying to catch these iron workers. And these guys move like cats through this ironwork. So we're out there on the catwalk. And let me tell you, it's scary being on that catwalk 150 feet up in the air, looking down at that Hudson River. And you don't have a harness or anything. So we said, oh, this is stupid. It was nighttime. It was dark. We just had our flashlights. We said, all right, let's go wait. We'll just wait for them. We'll wait for them. We'll wait for the sun to come up. Because it's going to be cold out there. It was nighttime. But they were all bundled up. They were fine. They were hiding out in the girders. And then, sure as shit, morning came, sunrise came. They got hungry. They wanted their coffee. So they came out. Ali oxen free. And they all came out. And we arrested them. But yeah, that's my iron worker story, Dougie Doug. That was probably one of the Cuomo governors screwing your local out of work by going out of state and hiring out of state non-union people for that Tappan Zee Bridge, which is right there. You could have walked to work. Dougie Doug. But no, everything was good because this guy, Al Martin, he was an ex-iron worker. And for some reason, even after becoming a trooper, he kept paying his dues. He kept paying his dues for, I don't know, there is a good reason to continue paying your dues. And I guess he figured maybe after being a trooper, he'd go back to doing that, but he never did. And he's a photographer, I think. He's retired now. He takes pictures of he has a lot of famous pictures from the old Yankee Stadium around, Al Martin. And That was it. That was the ironworks. So even then, you had a union job, a major bridge here, and they screwed the local out of work just to save. I don't know. What did they save? They didn't save much. There was more money available for the grifting. You know the grifting that we're not supposed to know about. Alleged grifting. I'll say alleged grifting. All right, everybody. So yeah. So Curtis, I'm retired 5 years. I pay retiree. That's good. Yeah, Dougie, keep that. You know, you got to keep that going because sometimes after you retire, like I say, that incident I told you. Yeah, keep paying. Maybe there's a lawsuit that the union has against the state for hiring the non-union workers, and it still hasn't worked its way through the court. And then all of a sudden, 5 years from now, the judge says, "Oh, yeah, you should have never hired non-union workers." All right, how much was the job? All right, you got to pay them this amount of money, and then each one of you guys is going to get a check, maybe. I'm just hypothesizing there. So yeah, you got to stay active in the union. Like that happened to me with my union. Something from 30 years ago, some physical fitness test we took 30 years ago. They finally decided, oh, we're going to pay you the money we owe you for that physical fitness test from 30 years ago that we never paid you for. So I think if I hadn't stayed active as a retiree, I would have never heard about it. And they're happy about you not hearing about it because if you don't know and you're not going to ask for the money or, you know, step forward to take the money, there's more money for them to divvy up and hang on to. So they kind of like, they kind of tell you like, yeah, we won. But, you know, some guys are out of the loop. Some guys move down to Florida. They move down to Argentina. They meet some chick and they go to the Philippines. They're completely out of the loop. So they'll never see that money. Hello at Manolo Chapa. Yeah, definitely, Dougie Doug. We should still go. It's good to stay in touch. So yeah, Curtis did a fantastic job. He was a gentleman. He was very polite. He did not wear his beret. On Instagram, he had a question, should he wear his beret or not wear his beret? And I said, wear the beret. People recognize you with the beret. But he didn't wear the beret. And because he didn't wear the beret, you could clearly see he had a friggin' tan line. And Curtis without the beret, he got a big head. He got a big head. Above his eyebrows, there's a lot of, north of Curtis Lee was eyebrows, there's a lot of real estate. And because he always wears the beret and it keeps the sun off, he had this tan line across his head. In the beginning, I thought it was funny, but then, you know, you start paying attention to the substance of the debate. But, and whoever the makeup artist was on duty there was horrible. You could clearly see, clearly see that this area of his forehead was like completely not, the melanin had not been activated by the sun. So he didn't wear his beret. And as a matter of fact, he kind of looked a little, if I walked by him on the street, I might have not recognized him. So the beret is like his signature, his symbol, a tan line from a beret. Yeah, he wears the beret down, he wears the beret like this all the time, and then you get used to that red beret, and then when he doesn't wear it, his friggin', because the guy goes to parades, the guy goes everywhere. Why couldn't he have switched to a ball cap at some point? I mean, for real. I guess somebody told him, probably, I'm guessing his wife told him, don't wear the beret. You're gonna look ridiculous. You have to look businesslike. You have to look mayoral. Look mayoral, like they tell the president. You have to look presidential. Like the president can't show up to a debate in a t-shirt and shorts, you know what I mean? Like, he could. He could, as long as whatever he's saying is on point. But, you know, people will criticize him and say, oh, look at this hobo. He shows up looking like a hobo, like a bum. So Curtis did good. He looked good. Cuomo and Curtis, like I'm 63 years old. They looked a little, oh, it's funny to me, a beret. The French don't even wear berets. The beret is his trademark. Right, the beret is his trademark. And it's a funny thing, because when I was in the Boy Scouts in the city, our uniform wore a red beret. We had the Boy Scout uniform, and for some reason our troop chose to wear red berets. It's just kind of funny. This was like pre-Guardians. So maybe he got those berets at a clearance sale from the Boy Scouts. It's still stupid in my mind. Joanne says, well, you know what, Joanne, and when you're looking at coming up with a uniform, you know, the red beret for the Guardian Angels is very recognizable. Just like the Stetson is very recognizable for state troopers. Wherever you go, anywhere you go in this country, you see that hat, it's usually a state trooper. Sometimes it's a sheriff, but usually you see a Stetson. Yeah, he was great. He was great, Dougie Doug. He was out there kicking ass first, taking names later. His guys, they were out there doing it for no pay. They had the red berets, they had the white T-shirts with the Guardian Angels logo printed on there, front and back. Their battle dress uniform pants, their cargo pants, and their military boots, all highly polished. They look, I mean, they look good, and they were out there helping people, and they were from the community. They cared. Does he wear a raspberry beret? The kind you find in a secondhand store? No, he doesn't wear a raspberry beret. It depends on discipline. So yeah, most of them back in the day, you know, back in the day in the 70s, like even myself, I was enrolled in Taekwondo, and I took Kung Fu classes. So back in the day, everybody was into martial arts because New York City was, it was dangerous. Like, my mother would always worry about me going out in the streets. She's like, don't go out. And I'd be like, I'm going out, whatever. I'll deal with whatever happens. So you gotta be prepared. But you know, you're younger. So when you're younger, you're stronger, you're more flexible, you're less afraid. So yeah, everybody took some kind of a martial art. Whether it was Shotokan, there was all kinds of crazy martial arts out there people were taking just to be able to defend themselves. So you never knew. Just like today, yo, one person's fashion is another's faux pas. Yeah. No, the beret, especially a wool beret. The wool beret looks good. But yeah, so Curtis has a tan line from his from his little red beret. But so what I was gonna say is they looked, I mean, so since he wasn't wearing the beret, I would have said to him, listen, Curtis, we gotta put a little shoe polish on that hair. We're gonna put a little shoe polish on the comb. We're gonna comb your hair. We're gonna put a little Grecian in there, make you look a little younger, because him and Cuomo, Curtis and Cuomo looked old. And I mean, I'm 63, so I'm old too, but there were times when they were holding their papers, you know, they have little cards, like, you know, cards that they write notes on, and their hands were, like they had that old man shake. Like maybe you have the shake because you're nervous and you're on television and it's a debate, but I don't know, they looked like old guys. And then Mom Donnie would just stand there with that smile. He goes, like it's his high school portrait, like he's posing for his LinkedIn picture, you know what I mean? Oh, Curtis is 71. So he's 8 years older than me. Yeah, 71. He's in good shape for 71. He's in good shape. He's walking around the city all the time. I mean, I don't know. And he's active. He probably doesn't have a lot of time to work out because he's always going to events. Bamigator 52. Bamigator. I've never seen a lizard smile. Lizards are usually like this. They're like, right? But he's got this smile like it's a smile like, I'm gonna screw you over. It's like a very vindictive smile. Cuomo is 67. So he's 4 years older than me. Yeah, both of them looked gray. Their hair was gray. Their facial, their affect, their skin tone was gray. didn't look that bad. Kind of like that debate back in the day when JFK debated Nixon, and they said Nixon looked terrible on black and white TV. He's an exceptional lizard, right? Right. So Mamdani, he has this fucking smile on his face, like you're like, you piece of shit. You piece of shit. It's like the Cheshire cat grin, up to no good. And he's like, and even when they catch him in something and they ask him a question that he's going to plead the fifth to, he just goes, his eyes are smiling, his teeth are smiling, and you're like, you son of a bitch. You son of a bitch. But if he gets in, Ange and Joe Coffey are going to get a mortgage. They're going to get a mortgage, and they're going to have a driveway. They're going to have a nice driveway. And they're going to have plenty of trees with the leaves falling down to rake or blow. You could blow. My neighbor reminded me that I have a backpack blower. I forgot I had it. Because it's the same one he's got. He's got the same model I got. Nope. We going to live in a box on the corner. Yo, Ange, you ain't going to live in no box on no corner. No. Or just forever cruise. They don't advise it. Cruise ships will tell you, we're not designed for you to forever cruise. We're not designed for, and it's not, Ange, I know you've got there's 52 weeks in a year, and you probably have 70 certificates to go cruising. Yo, Ange and Joe, the new Green Acres sitcom. Yeah. More work for Coffee Joe. But, yeah, if Zohan gets in, it's going to be, as we say in the business, a shit show. It's going to be a shit show. But it's going to be free buses, Ange. He's promising free buses. So what he'll do is he'll raise the congestion pricing to subsidize. So listen, the buses and the trains in the state are already federally subsidized. Then no one would have my wonderful walks in this city where I talk shit. Well, I don't think. I think you're always going to walk in the city and talk shit. You can just talk more shit. That would give you more content. You could talk about the communization of New York City, the middle class egress from the city, and you could do all kinds of streams, live streams, interviewing, man on the street stuff, interviewing people, and people could vent and bitch. You're not political. You're not political. Well, I know you're not political, but guess what? You're gonna be sucked into the political if Zohan gets in. Totally agree with you, FAFO. All right. You're gonna see Zohan's gonna come knocking at your door, and she's gonna be like, hello, Ange. We want, even though you have nothing, we want it. Who think they are the man on the street. They are, yeah, some of these channels on YouTube, there's this one kid, what's his name? Nick Shirley on YouTube. He's amazing, man. He's everywhere. He's in front of Trump Tower. He's at the Texas border. He's at the White House. Where was it the other day? The other day he was in Chicago with ICE. He was doing a drive-along with ICE. And ICE was chasing down, people with warrants, suspects that they had. So some of these YouTubers are really good journalists. They're really motivated. I like watching them. So unlike FAFO, FAFO's just doing FAFO stuff, right? FAFO's got to do FAFO stuff. So what do we got? We're gonna be, so we helped the neighbor. That's done. It's gonna be close to dog walking time because the sun goes down like at 6:13 over here, which is another thing I can't stand. I wish Trump would end this fall forward daylight savings time crap. Because now the sun goes down at 6:13. And before you know, yeah, Shirley is good, right? And I like that kid. And he gets himself into some some dangerous, precarious situations. And man, but he does it. He gets out there more than the real journalists. Hello, Pat Drummond. Welcome in. Welcome on in. So yeah, so like once 3 o'clock comes and I hear the school buses coming, I'm like, ugh, I've only got another 2, maybe 3 hours to walk the dogs. And then maybe in another month and a half, the sun will be going down at like 4:30, and I'll be like, ugh, gotta walk these dogs by 3 o'clock. By 3 o'clock. So you're like, what's the big deal, FAFO? So the big deal for FAFO is this. FAFO's up till 2 in the morning usually. Last night I was up till 2 in the morning. I was watching a YouTuber who did a live stream from the Sphere in Las Vegas of the Eagles concert. It was a beautiful concert. She did like a 10-minute video and like 2 longer videos of the first half and the second half. Winter is so winter is standard time. So winter is standard time. So Dougie Doug is saying we save daylight in the summer. Doesn't make any sense to me, Dougie Doug. I thought originally daylight savings time was something Benjamin Franklin came up with, so we would save money on candles, so that the sun would be out longer and you wouldn't burn candles. Like nobody uses candles anymore unless they're a tarot reader or, you know, the house stinks, okay? That's the only reason people use candles. So daylight savings time was something used to save on candles. So let's just get rid of it because it screws up with people's biorhythms. It screws up, even the dogs get screwed up with the biorhythm. Yeah. So this girl went to the Eagles concert at the Sphere in Las Vegas, and she had VIP seats. The VIP seats were just a tad under $2,000 a seat. And the VIP seats get you like a little box area for maybe, I don't know, 20 people. And you have your own bar, your own bartender, your own food, people that come and give you food. Pretty nice food. So, and then that screen. So let me tell you, the Sphere, even though I haven't been there, just looking at her video, it was like the way MTV was, where you can watch a song and you can hear your band and there's like a video behind. That's how the Sphere does it. While the band is playing a song on the stage, the whole Sphere is showing you some kind of video of the song that they made. And it's 3-dimensional. It's pretty cool. It's almost like a planetarium. It's like a planetarium on steroids. Like, I'd love to go to the Sphere one day, but I'm not paying $2,000 for a seat. Even the cheap seats were like a little under $1,000. During World War II, it was to keep lights to a minimum and also help farmers with longer daylight hours. Help farmers with longer daylight hours. I don't know. Now we help farmers with federal subsidies. That's what we do. But yeah, help. I need help with the daylight. So, and then I don't dare walk these dogs in the dark because you never know what's out there. There might be some other loose dog out there, or a coyote, or a bear. There are bears around here too. Treaton's seen them. She thought she saw a bear in front of our house one day, and she thought it was me. But it wasn't me. It was a bear. And she called my oldest son. She says, "What's Daddy doing, Joey? What's Daddy doing in front of the house over there?" And Joey looks and he says, "That's not Daddy. That's a bear." So, there's all kinds of critters up here on the mountain. On the mountain, there's plenty of mountains up here, yo, Ange. You could have your own. You could live in the holler. You could live in this holler, or the holler over there, or the holler over there. There's plenty of hollers around here. Plenty. All right, everybody. Kerry, Ben Franklin had the idea, but was never instituted until during... Oh, really? He had the idea. He had a lot of good ideas. Ben Franklin, I guess, you know, if they ask you, who would you want to talk to who's passed on, if you could talk to somebody? I would like to talk to Ben Franklin. Bring him up to date on everything that's happened in the United States since his passing. And he'd be like, wow, that's a real shit show. Oh my goodness, yes, we have a pack of wild dogs here. So, yeah, Benjamin Franklin would be like, what? They wouldn't even be able to wrap their brains around all the nonsense that goes on here. They'd be like, what? 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 Okay. All right. All right, everybody. It was a pleasant afternoon, getting a little work done. I love you all. It's Friday night, so there's no FAFO Friday later. During wartime. Wartime. Yeah, wartime. Yeah, wartime, we kind of also proposed that the national bird be the wild turkey. That would make sense, because there were more wild turkeys everywhere. And turkeys are hard to shoot because they're so insulated. Yeah, eagle. I remember in the 80s, the eagle was almost extinct because he didn't like to get up before the sun. But he liked to fly kites in the rain. That guy liked to fly kites in the rain. That's a weird hobby to have. That's a very weird hobby to have, flying a kite in the rain. All right, everybody. So that's like, we talked about the mayoral race. Curtis clearly won the debates. I don't know if he's going to win the election, though, because Mom Donnie's got that Cheshire cat smile. Like he's got his hands in your pocket before you even know it. Like he's going to sell you your own shoes off your own feet. So beware of the Cheshire cat smile people. They're out. Just because you're paranoid doesn't mean they're not out to get you. All right, everybody, have a great night. Maybe we'll see something this weekend. We'll see. All right. Love you all. Have a great evening. Bye-bye.